Hey everybody, it's Karima and we are back today with our second video ever. Super excited to talk about this topic. So today we'll be talking about 5 self-care tips that absolutely changed my life. So we'll jump right into it. So the first one is gratitude. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. I feel like this is something that you hear a lot within the self-care or the wellness space or the spiritual space. And it's like, yes, we hear it, but do you really embody it? Do you really practice it every day? So gratitude is something, it's interesting. This is something that I feel like I was really good at naturally since like forever, since I was a child. I remember being like 5 years old and having very like conscious, active gratitude practices, like daily practices. And I have no idea where this came from. I have no idea if like I was born like this or I was introduced to it. Like I don't know, but I just have like a natural embodiment of gratitude. And that's something that I'm super, super grateful for. And I feel like this actually helped me start manifesting things at a young age before I really even knew like what manifestation was, just because it was something that was in my day-to-day and something that I practiced consciously. So I remember being like a child or a teenager and waking up, and this is still like the main gratitude practice that I do to this day. I will wake up, I'm like half asleep in bed, waking up, and the first thing I do is name like 5 things that I'm grateful for. And it can literally be anything in this world. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my skin. I'm grateful for life today and that I woke up. You know, it can be like as surface level or as deep as you want it to be. And it really is no such thing as surface level gratitude, because we are grateful for the everyday things in our life. So how this played out for me, being it's something that, you know, I feel like I started kind of younger, is that I kind of got these big manifestations that I didn't even really realize like that's what it was at a young age. And I feel like the gratitude kind of helped me raise my vibration into a place where like I was a vibrational match for these big things that I wanted. So a good example is when I was in middle school, I decided that I wanted to go to college in New York City and have like this New York City experience, literally because one of the students in my middle school, I think their older brother or sister went to NYU, and they were like, oh, my big brother goes to NYU, and like they say it's where like the art is and the this is, and they made it sound very interesting. And I was, at that moment, I said, oh, okay, well, I want to go to a college in New York too. And that kind of just stuck with me since then. And when I was in high school, I manifested this really beautiful scholarship that allowed me to go to any school that I wanted to in a country, like all expenses paid, like even like some of the personal expenses were paid. And I feel like me having this attitude of gratitude for years and years and years helped things like that come my way more easily. And of course, even when like that scholarship came about, there was a line action with it, but it was something that almost like the opportunity kind of fell into my lap. When we were learning about the opportunity, we didn't even really know what it was, but I just knew I wanted to go to a college in New York City, even though those colleges that I weren't getting accepted to, like I wasn't really getting any scholarship. And, you know, some of the more logical adults in my life, it was like, oh, well, we also, you know, like, let's look at these other options. And, you know, we're not trying to put ourselves in debt too much just because of the location. But then when I received the scholarship, it was like, wow, like I feel like I manifested that moment of me deciding in middle school that this is where I want to be. So I feel like an attitude of gratitude definitely helped with that 1000%. And even in like the middle of the most transitional moments or the void when you're when you're like shedding your old identity, you're shedding these layers, you're creating space for the new. In those spaces, they also call them the liminal spaces. Those spaces can feel like so like anxious sometimes or so scary. But I recently been through one, and I feel like this go around, I just had such a attitude of like, well, what am I grateful for in the moment? Like, how can I bring more joy into my day today? And it made this whole process so much smoother. So definitely gratitude is a life-changing practice, not only when you're like sick or hurting or in pain, you know, kind of trying to use it as something like, okay, I'm in pain, but I'm grateful for life, let me feel better. But like being grateful on the days when you feel your best, and being grateful on the days when you feel the absolute worst, and everything in between. So number one for me, hands down, has definitely been gratitude. Even like with this YouTube channel, I mean, this is my second video. I have like 3 subscribers right now. And when I saw I had 3 subscribers, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for these 3 subscribers. Versus an attitude of, oh my gosh, like I started YouTube, is no one following me or whatever. It's like, no, like I'm grateful for the entire process, not just the end outcome. So number 1, gratitude. Number 2, I wrote it down so I wouldn't forget. Number 2, that's been a life-changing self-care tip for me has been like rest, and diving deeper into the world of rest. I wrote rest / mini retirements because that's something that I experimented with for the first time, and that was probably one of the best investments I ever gave myself. But let's look at rest just on like a day-to-day process. I mean, I love that this is something that's becoming more popular, something that's becoming more mainstream. For the people who know what human design is, I'm a projector. If you don't know what human design is, it's a system, and think it's almost like, you know how like astrology, the zodiac, is a system that helps you kind of like understand your type more. Human design is another system that helps you understand like your energetic type a little bit more. And I absolutely love human design. I probably love it even more than like the astrology world. I feel like when I like read my chart and learned about my design, I felt so seen and so understood, because sometimes as a child or a teenager, I thought something was wrong with me by like how much I needed like rest and naps. And that's actually one of the like key signatures of a projector. Like projectors are almost like the guides of modern day, the guides, the teachers. We can see people really clearly. Like we can almost just like see their true selves and guide them if we're invited, but also projectors if we're not in the right environment. And I think this can apply honestly to anyone. If we're not in the right environment, we get burnt out really fast. Like our energy can get really low really fast. Even when like we are just like putting out our work, sometimes we can just get burnt out and tired. So I've been the nap queen, and like my friends who've known me for a long time know this. I've been the nap queen since I was like young. So when I was a child or younger, I thought something was wrong with me, because that's when like everyone has so much energy all the time. And I was just like, no, it's time for me to go take a nap and rest. So really creating these opportunities to just rest, even if that's like in the traditional sense of actually taking a nap or going to sleep, or it could just be in the sense of doing absolutely nothing and not feeling bad about it, not letting, you know, work culture, hustle culture, whatever, make you feel like you need to be doing something all the time. Even if you take like a whole day to rest, or a whole week, or a whole month, which is leaning into this idea of mini retirements. I heard about this on YouTube a few years ago, maybe. I think I was like learning about like the FIRE movement. Yeah, I was learning about the FIRE movement, and someone was talking about mini retirements. And the whole concept is, okay, so if you are in like Western culture, retirement age is what, 60? I think. I could be wrong. And so we're supposed to work our whole youth, our whole 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, and then wait until we're 60 to like really enjoy life and take all these random trips and go climb mountains and do all these things. And when you're 60, your body's probably, it might not be as strong as it was when you were 30. So many retirements are taking, you know, time off to do these things, whether that's a month, whether that's 3 months, 6 months, or a whole year. And of course, you have to be very strategic and financially budget so that you can do a mini retirement. But this is something that I've done, and it hands down, like creating that cushion and that budget to take time off has been probably one of the best investments in myself ever. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10. You know, you might have to overcome some anxiety or fear because it's like, it's new. You might have fear about like no income coming in, and it doesn't have to be no income. You can also pick up a side hustle or something, and who knows, it might become your full time. But definitely do it if you can, and don't feel bad for it. You know, people might not understand it, and honestly, they don't have to. You don't even have to tell people you're doing it if you don't want to deal with that. But would highly recommend if you can be strategic with your finances and not stress yourself out. And then that leads into the next one. Number 3, top life-changing self-care tip is investing in myself. So investing in yourself can look like many different things. I'm going to talk about it through the lens of coaching, which has been absolutely life-changing for me. So I've done therapy. I think therapy is also investing in yourself as well. For the most part, when I've done therapy, a lot of times it was covered by insurance, so I didn't really have to come out of pocket like that for the therapy. But when I've done coaching, I had to come out of pocket because mine was not covered by insurance. But I think today a lot of the rules might be changing, so some might be able to be covered by insurance. Definitely check that out and use the system if you can. But investing in coaching for me has been 10 out of 10, like one of the most transformative experiences in my life. I mean, I feel like I'm a completely different person. It's interesting too, because I'm also a certified life coach. And even when I was, you know, those maybe 7 months of me becoming certified, and we were all students and we were coaching each other, even that coaching was life-changing. Like when I was studying to become certified and to really hone my skills doing this. So if you can, I mean, we all love like a brunch. I mean, I love a brunch. I love to shop. I love to go out and eat. I love experiences. I love a vacation too. And those are all like forms of investing in yourself, I think. But I think spending your money where it really shows can be very impactful, like where it really, really shows. And if you buy, you know, a dress and then like you don't even like it 3 weeks later and you're taking it back, it's like that's not really, that money that you're spending is not really showing in your life. But these courses, whether that's like a course to just help you like up level in your career, or a course to help you learn how to do your side business because you don't want to do, you know, the traditional career, or whether that's relationship coaching. I mean, there's so many different areas of coaching for your specific needs, and finding a coach that you really resonate with. And also a coach, I think this is really important, a coach who's also where you want to be, if not further. I think that's very important because, you know, you do have to use a level of discernment. Don't get a money coach if she ain't got no money, you know. And that might be hard to tell just through like social media, but I feel like using some discernment, you might be able to say, okay, wait, maybe this person isn't even where I want to be. So make sure like they're where you want to be, but like maybe like times 3, so that you're really learning from people who have embodied these practices that you want to learn. So coaching has been phenomenal for me. Would highly recommend it. Coaching is almost, it's like the step after therapy, and it's really to help you up level your life. Of course, if you have a lot of, trauma, history, things from your past that are impacting your day-to-day life, and it's really, you feel like it's something that's getting in the way of you just living within alignment like every single day, I think that's more of like a therapy situation. But when you're at a point where that is healed and you're like, okay, well, I'm ready to go 10 levels up within the finance area, the relationship area, like whatever area, that's when I think it's time to get a coach. So I would highly recommend that. And that's leading into the next one, which is, this is a juicy one. So breath work has been so amazing for me. I'll put some links down below too, to just like a few resources and people that I've maybe done like their digital courses or breathwork practices. But breathwork is very interesting. This breathwork practitioner who I've done a few things with online, this is not like a direct quote from her, but she says that it has the opportunity to kind of like go in a body, and you can do something that might take like years and years and years and years and years in therapy, and then allow the breath to go in a body and heal that within a few or a short amount of sessions. So it's very interesting because, of course, this is when like your mental mind is being churned off a little bit. So it might be hard for your mental to even like grasp it. It's like, wait, I went to therapy for 10 years for this issue, but I can also do breath work in a much shorter amount of time and really get to the same root, and allow the breath to go very deep and clear those same things. So, I mean, some of my most spiritual like experiences ever were in the middle of a breathwork session. I mean, it was like complete outer body, like what is happening? Like, is this real? Like, is this feeling I feel real right now? I've also done like hard 40-day breathwork practice / meditation for prosperity. I'm currently doing a new breathwork practice. So I'm currently doing this breathwork practice called the 9 purifications breathing. And a lot of the times I'm not even like actively looking for like these practices. They kind of just like come to me when I need it the most. I might be in a random bookstore, pick up a book and just flip it open to the page I need, and it's a whole new like breathwork practice. That's how this last one kind of came to me. I'll also leave a YouTube video of a man doing this practice. I mean, I found it in a book, but it was kind of hard for me to envision it. I'm a very visual person, so I went on YouTube, and the YouTube made it like a lot easier for me to grasp. But this one is so amazing with just like cleansing the body and purifying the body. So breathwork has been really amazing. I'll link Milana Snow. I did a few of her things, or brought a few of her things from her website. She also has breathwork practices on her YouTube for free. So maybe I'll link, on her Instagram for free. So maybe I'll link her Instagram so y'all can look at that. And then I'll also link the one that I'm doing now. But breathwork has just been so amazing. Like, I felt it physically like clear just like old things that I've been through out of my body, and I feel so much lighter afterwards. It's not like I feel lighter like the next day. It's just like I feel like my my energetic body has shifted. So it's very powerful. I would try it if you feel called to it. And that leads us into the last one. Okay, so the last one I put energy management. So that's the fifth self-care tip that has changed my life. I think you can also say time management, but I think energy management might be a better fit. So this is all about just taking a step back and thinking, where am I putting my energy? You can even make a list. Like, what are the top people, places, etc., things that I give my energy to every day? So let's say you're making an inventory list and you're like, okay, well, I give 70% to a job, and I scroll on Instagram for like 3 hours, so that's like a good chunk. And then I'm around all of these people every day, that's a good chunk, etc. You get the gist. And then think about like where your future self wants to be, and think, do these daily like habits or practices or things that I'm doing like align with where I want to be in the future, and how can I redirect my energy in a more strategic way so that I can better align with my future. So maybe that 70% that you're giving to your job, maybe it goes down to like 60, 50, 40, like whatever it needs to go down to, so that you can have more energy to maybe like working out or picking up a workout class or channeling it towards your creativity, etc. And when I say this doesn't mean that you have to be like a bad employee. You can be great. Or think about all the people who are like so good at their job, and y'all know that they're not pouring their all into this job, but they're still great at it. They're still good. So you can give less energy and still be good at what you do. It's just about working smarter versus working harder. So we'll highly recommend that, maybe put that time limit on that Instagram and calm it down, or maybe delete the whole app for 2 weeks or a month so that you can get out of the habit of scrolling every day. And think about the compound effect of you scrolling on Instagram every single day for like or scrolling for like a very long time every single day for the next 5 years. And think about the compound effect of like working out every day for the next 5 years. Like, it's two completely different end results. So really just thinking about your energy, taking an energy inventory, being like very honest with yourself, and then redirecting that. So if you're visual like me, this could almost be like a pie chart of what you're doing now and where you aim to be, and then work towards that every day. Or you can list it out where you are now, and then list out where you want to be, and think of like what things need to go in the trash, what things need to be like shifted, and what things need to, of course, remain the same. So that is it. Top 5 self-care tips. To repeat, it's gratitude, it's rest, it's investing in yourself, it's breath work, and then it's energy inventory. So these have all transformed my life, and I also hope that it could do, a little something for one of y'all. So thank you.